Alright, so I'm going to be showing how to open up and disassemble this Dell G715 7588. Alright, so we're going to be using a PH1 or JS1 screwdriver to remove the bottom screws. Alright, so I only see one screw here. I don't know if there's any hidden ones, but I guess we'll find out. So let's go ahead and undo this screw first. Alright, it's popping up this bottom cover. Let's go ahead and see if we can just pull this off. Okay, it looks like this side comes off, but this side is kind of stuck. Alright, so I'm just working my way around, and you can see it's coming out this way. Interesting. Okay, I don't know why this side's stuck. There we go. I had to kind of get my fingernail in there, pull it down, and get that up, and there we go. Alright, their battery's actually going bad, but they leave it plugged in all the time, so it's probably not a big deal. Alright, just cleaning off the dust from the bottom cover. I just use a toothbrush and kind of just scrub it off. And then usually I'll use an electric air blower if there's too much dust, but there we go. Looks okay. Alright, so the keyboard actually has two parts. There's the keyboard and the backlight. So this is what the replacement keyboard looks like. You can see all these little holes in it. Most likely it's going to be held in place with melted plastic, which is going to be kind of annoying. I'm probably going to use some JB Weld or something to do that. Alright, and then the second part is the backlight connector. Okay. So that's just held on with adhesive. Anyways, we're gonna have to get this whole thing apart. There's a lot of components to this. The nice thing is it does seem pretty easy to upgrade or repair. Let me actually get a thumbnail here. Okay, and first thing we're gonna do is disconnect the battery. So the battery connector is down here. Let me zoom in. Hopefully I'll be able to get this all in view in camera. There's a lot of junk on my desk and it's kind of hard to move this around. Alright, so I got my fingernails here. I'm going to wiggle and pull this at the corner edges. Alright, so you kind of just wiggle and pull at this. Wow, this connector is in there real strong. Jeez. Okay, so that connector is like super stuck in there. I'm not too sure how the average person would be able to get this out. This is really hurting even trying to get this out. Let's try and turn it around this way. And let's see, can I see that? Okay, I'm going to try using my fingernails this way and see if we can pull that. Jeez, it's not moving at all. Is it held with an adhesive or something? We got to get this out. Okay, I think it's moving a tiny bit. There we go. Alright, that was in there real strong. I don't know what other people will use, maybe like needle nose pliers or something, but yeah, that was really difficult to get out. Okay, give me a second here. Let's zoom out. Okay, let's now undo the screws. So there's one screw here. You are going to have to keep all the screws in order. There are a lot of them, so keep that in mind. The way I keep them in order is I keep them flat side down on my desk. In the pattern, I remove them. So basically, I take the screw, oops, put it like that, all right, on my desk in that pattern. So we're going to remove the battery. We got one on each corner here, and then it looks like there's one more down there. I don't know if there's some weird hidden ones, but let's try. All right, so we got the third one here, and is that enough to pull the battery out? Let's see. Yep. All right, so only 3 screws holding that in. You do have to swing it up because these feet do go underneath there and wedge in. Okay, so you can't just pull it straight up. You have to slide that out. All right, and there you go. Alright, there's a lot of dust and crumbs and stuff on this. Their keyboard, like several keys, aren't working right, so that's why we got to replace it. If you're replacing the battery, the model number's here, 33YDH. Alright, and also if you replace the battery, you usually will have to replace or swap this over as well. And this cable is also pretty difficult to get out usually, but I grab here and then I kind of just wiggle it as I pull, and you want to be careful not to pull too much and wiggle these cables. So I try and grab all the cables at once and wiggle like that. I'm not going to pull it out because the battery's not bad and I don't want to mess around with that and then damage the cable just by trying to get it out. Alright, so there's all these crumbs in here. You can see all these little cables and connections. Most likely we're not going to have to disconnect them before taking the rest of this cover off, but I'm going to flip the latches up if I can. Alright, this has a little adhesive underneath. Oh, I might have to respond to some messages first, but let's see here. Okay, so you got the keyboard connector here. So I'm gonna peel up whatever this clear plastic is, and then you got this little black latch. I use my fingernail, flip that up, and once you do that, you should be able to pull that out. All right. I'm pretty sure there's a touchpad, so same thing, flip that latch up and pull that out. Keyboard backlight connector right here, flip that latch up and then lift it slightly and pull it out. You can see it has these little wings that hold it in place. I'm not too sure what these other cables are, but I guess we'll find out. We'll do the same thing, flip the latch, pull that out, flip this latch, and pull this out. All right, you got the hard drive, 2.5-inch SATA hard drive here. Same thing, flip latch, okay, and then we're gonna go ahead and pull that out. All right, oh, this one's kind of held with some adhesive, I think. Yeah, that's gonna be annoying. So you gotta actually peel this one out. You wanna be careful because you don't wanna damage the cable. We're gonna get these screws out. There's 4 screws holding the hard drive in place, so we're gonna remove those. Okay, again, keep all these screws in order. They are all different size, shape, and lengths. And if you mix them up, you can damage your computer, okay? You don't want to just throw them all in a little bowl or cup, because then you're going to get everything mixed up and you're not going to know what goes where. All right, so we'll get this other one out. I'll have to clean up the fans later as well. They're a bit dusty. Okay, so we got those 4 screws, and we should be able to lift this thing up. They have these little rubber screw mount things, so it's probably stuck down real strong. Here you can see they even show here, what is that? Wow, it's stuck on there real good. I don't think it's gonna come out. We're gonna probably have to get this out first. Be careful because you can see this top layer is coming out. So what I do is I pull this slightly, and then I can get my fingernail in there, and I'll use that to help pull this connector out. But because this is held down with some adhesive, it's going to be tricky. I'm going to actually use a little isopropyl alcohol here to make it easier to remove. Although if you don't have that, you can just carefully peel it up, but this will help make it easier. Okay, so we'll get the alcohol in there, and we'll carefully work the alcohol under there, and hopefully we can just peel it up. All right, it's being a little difficult. Got to work slow because the alcohol will take a little time to get in. So I'm just slowly peeling, working my way up. All right, and we're just going to continue going slowly. What I'm doing is I'm kind of pulling as I lift to try and keep the cable flat. I don't want to like crease it up because then that can damage it. So we're just slowly working our way down the wire or the cable. All right, and we're almost there. There we go. All right, and now I have goopy adhesive on my fingers, so let me clean that up a little bit. Okay, so we got that, and actually we can't just pull the connector out because there's this lip here. So because it's stuck, what I'm going to have to do, let's see. Oh, they didn't leave holes here. Okay, yeah. So I'm gonna use a smaller screwdriver that can fit in that hole there. I believe like T8, Torx 8-bit will fit there, so that can fit in that little screw hole. And I'm going to use this as a lever. Actually, let me get a bigger one. Maybe a T9. I want it to fit more perfectly in this. Okay, and then I'm going to use that to kind of lever it and pull it up. There you go. And that released the stick from the, what do you call those rubber pieces? So the rubber's been sitting there so long that it kind of just stuck down. So you can see that trick. I like to use that trick to get these kinds of things out, and there you go. And again, if you're trying to get this connector off, I like to wedge my fingernail in here. Obviously you can use a plastic pry tool or whatever, and you can wedge it out and pull it that way. Okay, and obviously you can upgrade this to a 2.5-inch SATA SSD. You don't have to put back another hard drive if you wanted to upgrade this. There are 4 screws holding this bracket in place, and this plastic attaches these 2 metal brackets together. So if you're trying to remove that, that's how you would do it. Okay, we'll set that hard drive aside, and now I'm running out of desk space. All right, let me see, maybe I'll set it over here. Okay, let's go ahead and continue removing components. We got the M.2 PCIe NVMe SSD here, 1 screw. After you do that, you can see it pops up slightly. You can go ahead and wiggle and pull that out, and we're gonna set that aside. This one I'm gonna have to upgrade But for now I'm just going to take it out because to upgrade it I need a clone, but the keyboard is likely going to take longer. I hope the keyboard's all held in place with screws. I do see some screws on that bracket, so if that's the case, this won't be too bad to take apart. Okay, we've got the screws for this back plate we're going to have to take out. Let's go ahead and remove those. It's a lot of screws again. Keep track of them, put them all in order in the pattern that you're removing them. That's the best way, because then when you go to put back the screws, you'll see that pattern and you'll know it has to go back in that order. And that's how you know where each screw came from. Okay, so we got those 4 screws from back there out. And are there any on the back here? No. So we should be able to hopefully slide this off. No? I'm going to turn it this way and kind of grab and wiggle this. It should come out. I think there's a clip here. This says tear point. I don't know. Am I supposed to tear something there? I'm going to try and lift this up slightly, and you can see it went past that little raised clip. Let's see, there's a tear point here as well. I don't know what these tear points are, but I'm lifting this up as I pull, and that's helping me get this out. Let's go ahead and lift this side. Okay, and we can kind of wiggle. Gotta carefully wiggle and pull this. I feel like it's stuck on something. Hopefully it's not going to tear anything. I don't want it. I don't want this tear point, whatever that is. Okay. I think there's clips here, so I'm probably going to have to get my fingernails in the gap there and try and unclip something there, because it seems like it's stuck under there somewhere. So I'm getting my fingernails in that gap and see. Oh, yep. Okay. So basically I was just sliding my fingernails along in this gap here, and it allowed me to pop that out. So let's try it on this side. I'm trying to find where the gap is. It's hard to find this. The gap is like down there. There we go. I don't know if you saw it, so let me click that. You can see if I grab in here, you can see I can pop that out. Obviously you can use pry tools as well, but there we go. And inside you can actually see the little clip mechanisms here. Okay, I'm gonna set that aside. All right, now we have access to this part inside. I'm gonna brush this with a toothbrush, both these fans, and then I'm gonna blow the dust out back through this way. The reason why is because dust will blow, or the air blows this way, and then it all builds up on the back of the heatsink here. Yeah, so actually I'll do that later, because once we remove this, we'll probably have more access here. But I do need to respond to some messages, so I'll be back in a bit. All right, I'm back. Let's go ahead and continue. We got all this stuff disconnected. The CMOS BIOS battery, it is held down here with some adhesive. I'm actually going to lift it out because I don't want the BIOS to reset since everything's working fine, okay, other than the keyboard. So I'm going to pull the battery out, and I'm going to have to thread it through this hole when we lift the plastic case off. All right, we're going to have to remove the wireless card here, so let's zoom in. Okay, let me actually turn off the flash. It's just wasting my battery and heating up my phone. All right, so we got one screw here. We're going to undo that. There's a lot of pieces we're removing here. Okay, one screw. After you do that, you can lift it slightly. This plastic piece slides back, usually. I don't know, it's holding on right now. There you go. Okay, and then after you slide that out, you should be able to lift this out of the way. It's getting caught on the wire, so be careful with that. All right, and you do have to slide it over because this little clip catches on it. Right, so we'll do that, and then to remove the wireless antennas, take note, white cable goes to the white arrow, black cable goes to the black arrow. That's not the same with every computer. Sometimes they like to switch it around. Anyways, I'm going to go from the tail of the antenna, go as close as you can to the connector, and then while I'm kind of lifting it up, I'm going to push the wireless card down. Okay, so come on, why isn't it coming out? Usually at the tail you lift it, and there we go. Okay, and then we got the black wire, same thing at the tail. There we go. Okay, usually I'll just lift up the wire, but since it's already, like, this is popping up, you can just pull that down as you do it. All right, so I'm going to use the back end of this raised bit to kind of help walk the connector out. I'm pulling on it as I'm kind of going side to side, and there we go. There's the wireless card. Okay, so we are going to have to unroute these wires. It shouldn't really matter which one's where, but the white wire is going to the left and the black wire is going to the right. Let's go ahead and unthread that from these little holes or grooves. Okay, and this, oop, I already lifted it up, so I don't know how it was, but anyways, we're gonna unthread these wires here, and oops, let's zoom out here, and we just gotta lift these out away from the plastic piece here. Okay, I don't know what it's caught there, so let's go ahead and take a look at this cable connection. Okay, so we gotta peel this stuff up. Be careful because this cable seems very thin, so I'm just kind of going slow, working my way up here. Here we go. Okay, now I can see where this is going. It has a little loop thing sticking out, hook. There we go. Okay, this connector looks fragile. I don't know how I'm gonna grab that. Try and get my fingernails down there and kind of pull it up. Gotta be careful because you don't want to pull the wires. I'm trying to pull on the plastic part, but it's being very difficult. Let's see if I can get a better look at this. So this has one of those little, kind of like the CMOS BIOS battery. So I gotta get under the edge and then kind of just wiggle just like that, right? So there you go. Basically I was getting my fingernail under the edge of this part and just wiggling it like that. Right, we'll set that aside. Okay, then we're gonna go over to this side. We have the LCD LVDS connector here. If you're gonna mess with this, actually after disconnecting the battery, it's a good idea to open the laptop and then press and hold the power button for at least 15 seconds to drain any residual power. Alright, this only takes 15 seconds, so take that extra time because it's the difference between possibly frying your computer and yeah. So take those 15 seconds, just hold it down and you should be good. Alright, that makes sure there's no extra power left from the battery. Okay, then we're going to undo this one screw here. Wow, this is a lot of components, jeez. Alright, got that screw out. This little metal thing lifts up and comes out. You can see there's little hooks here. I'm going to set that aside. Jeez. Okay, then these cables usually will have this kind of pull tab thing here. Let's see if I can actually use it on this model. So you pull this up and then just pull on it. There we go. A lot of times I can't pull this up and I have to like pry it up from one side, but it came out nicely. Okay, then we're going to again carefully pull up this cable. You want to try and avoid just pulling it straight up. I try and pull it out this way to keep the cable more flat instead of just like yeah, tearing it out. So there's this capped on tape here for some reason. We're just going to peel it off and leave that attached to this plastic piece. Okay, you got the DC jack charge port connector here. I don't know why there's some capped on tape on that, but there is. It looks like we don't need to take that out yet, so I'm going to leave that in because it's going to be difficult. So let's zoom out here and see what we got to do to get this plastic bottom cover off. Okay, so 1, 2, there's a lot of screws here. We're going to have to remove them all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are fan screws. I think a lot of these are actually under the cover. So yeah, there's more fan screws there. Alright, we're going to just start removing screws and hopefully we get all the ones that we need to. It's a lot again, so keep that in mind if you're working on this. It's not an easy thing to keep track of. Alright, so we got that one, we got this one. We got this one down below it. Okay, again, keep track of all the screws. It's a lot. Got this one here. Got this one right below it as well. Okay, we got this one all the way in this corner. Right, then we got another row we got this one here. I'm gonna skip the fan screws unless I need to remove them with it. So let's see. And this one. Then we got this one. I think I missed one here. There's one up here. Okay, don't forget that screw. Okay, we got all of that, and still held down pretty strong. Let's see. Okay, got this screw here. Oh, I gotta be careful. The cables are like getting close to all the screws. Got this one here. Got this one more towards the center. Another one here more towards the center. I'm kind of putting these into rows, so that way it's easier to keep track of, like having a line across. All right, and then we got this whole bottom row. Oh, it looks like there's a bunch under here as well, but we'll figure that out after. Okay, 2, 3. Oh, there's 5 at the bottom here. Okay, so now that we got all those out, we got 4 here, so we'll get those 4 out. And these ones are much shorter, smaller screws. The rest of the ones that we removed from the plastic appear to be about the same, so technically if you mix those up, I think you should be okay. Okay. These 4 screws look to be similar to the one that we removed that was holding the LCD LVDS connector in. But you don't want to mix them up just in case. Alright, so we got those. Let's see, are we missing anything? Can we pop this out yet? I think we should be able to pop it out. I think the fan screws are underneath. So yeah, I don't know what this tear point thing is, but maybe that's to help you lift it up. So we can lift from here. You can see the connector. This thing is kind of lifting the plastic, but nope, it's stuck down real strong. Okay, so lifting this. Wait, is the heatsink coming with it? What? I am so confused. Is the motherboard attached underneath? Okay, let's see what's going on here. I'm going to go in from this side and see if I can pop the thing apart. No? How does it? Oh, it goes further in. Wow, this thing is not easy to get apart. What is going on? Am I missing a screw or something here? No? Give me a second. I gotta see how this thing's all held together. I don't know. Let's get the RAM out real quick so you can see what type of RAM it has. I probably should have done this earlier on in the video. This is 8 gig PC4 2666V. So you should be okay with any PC4 2666V RAM. If you want, you can upgrade to 2 16 gig sticks and have 32 gigs. All right, we're gonna pull this RAM out as well. You actually don't need to remove the RAM to take this thing apart. So let's see here. How do we get this thing out? Let's see. I'm gonna carefully open this and see where's the gap here. Is this all part of it? I'm trying to figure out what separates from what here. Here I'm seeing like this gap here, but then it goes up and then it goes around into this, so that's kind of strange. Is that supposed to come out that way? It looks like it. Okay, I'm gonna try and, let's see, get my fingernails in there and pull it out, maybe, possibly. I don't know, it doesn't want to move. Let's see, how are we gonna get this out? in there. Okay, so this is probably the easiest way. I think we gotta keep the heatsink and stuff down. I don't know why it's coming up. But Jeez, it doesn't want to come out. I don't know if there's something I'm missing here. Tear point. I don't know what those tear points are. It doesn't want to come out. Oh my goodness. I feel like I'm missing something here. Some tape there. Like, this is so stiff. It doesn't want to come out at all. But there's nothing for me to like work on or grab in here. There's nothing like to pry on. There's nothing to grab. Oh, there we go, actually. Okay, so you can see we got this out. Interesting. Okay, and let's see if we can continue going down that same line. Yes, we can. Okay, that's working. All right, we're gonna work our way around now. And now you can see this is actually, or I don't think you can see, actually it's too dark, but it's separating here. So I can actually separate this layer by holding that down. And now we have access to this side. Oh my God, so many crumbs everywhere. Okay, and then, let's see, work our way over to this edge and same thing, pull that, come on. Separate, please. Wow, it doesn't want to come out. Let's try this corner because the other side, the corner had to go first. So there we go. Okay, and now we're gonna work our way down. It's working. Okay, there we go. So interestingly enough, the motherboard does seem to be attached to this. Huh. So RAM didn't need to be removed. All these cables needed to be removed except for this one. So this is an LED cable. Actually, I can see it now. This is a power cable. So the power button goes all the way over here and connects to this. Interesting. So I'm going to reconnect the LED cable here. All right, and latch that down. Wow, that's an interesting design. So if you need to remove the motherboard, you'd have to take these screws out from this side. Huh. Okay, let me flip this over. We can actually leave the CMOS battery right there. Okay, I'm gonna start putting back stuff that didn't need to be removed. So we're gonna put the whole motherboard set here. I'm gonna set the keyboard thing aside, and the keyboard actually is held in with screws, so that's awesome. All right, this isn't gonna be as bad as I thought. Okay, so wireless card, actually I'm gonna leave out because we're gonna have to put the antennas and that little plastic thing back in. But the RAM, of course, we can put back in. Be careful with the heat sink and stuff. You don't want to damage that. So this goes in at an angle. Wait, there's some stuff stuck on it. Okay, so this goes in at an angle like that, and then you click that down. Do that with both sticks of RAM. Make sure there's nothing stuck to the connectors. Okay, get that one in, same thing, click it down. All right, so yeah, also the speakers are connected on the bottom, so let's flip this over. There's actually a lot of gunk in here, so let me clean that up real quick and I'll be back. I'm gonna go brush this off outside. Also the fans, so let me clean that and I'll see you guys in a bit. All right, so there you go. We have access. You can see the fan connectors here and the speaker connections here, and that speaker connects to the other speaker with this blue and white wire to here. All right, I'm not gonna zoom in on all of this, but here you go. Then they have this information, like the motherboard information, if you need to look up motherboard model. The charge port has 2 screws holding this in, and then you can take it out. I'm not gonna be taking out the fans and all that stuff because I don't actually need to work on it, but it looks like there's 2 screws and then you can take it out, but there's also this adhesive, so you'd probably have to remove that as well. What are these tear points that they're... Oh, I guess they want you to tear out this somehow. Right, then they got this for the heatsink. If you need to remove the heatsink or work on that, it looks like you do need to remove the charge port before you can take the motherboard out, because there is plastic that goes underneath it. So if you try and lift the motherboard out, it's gonna get caught there. And then also make sure you take the CMOS BIOS RTC real-time clock battery out. All right, and then the motherboard looks like there's 2 screws here, and then you got 2 screws holding over the USB-C port, 1 screw up here, and I think that's all the screws holding the motherboard down. There are the 2 screws for the fan here and 2 screws for that fan there. But yeah, these connectors have the wings. You just wiggle to pull them out. Okay, and yeah, so we're gonna set the motherboard aside now, and let's go ahead and work on replacing that keyboard. All right, so this is, I guess, a little bit nicer than I was expecting. So yeah, I don't have to worry about glue. The motherboard's on its own thing, so I don't have to worry so much about that. We do have to remove the screen, so I'm gonna brush that. There's some like dust on it or something, lint. Sorry for all the out of view stuff. Anyways, the hinge looks like there's 1 screw on either side right now. I guess wherever these screws went into, they were helping hold the hinge. We are going to separate the screen assembly because we need access to this. So let's carefully open this up to about 90 degrees. Normally I would hang this over the edge of my desk. Let me actually blow some of the dust and whatever that's in here out. I think the customer said that they have termites and they're like eating the roof above and stuff is falling out, so I don't know. Anyways, let me clean that and I'll be back. All right, I'm back. So let's go ahead now and remove the screen. So again, about 90 degrees. I'm gonna hang the screen over the edge of my desk. I don't know if I'll be able to show this without showing all the junk all over my desk, but let's try. We'll zoom out. Okay. All right, we need to zoom out that much. All right, those are my tweezers, and then, yeah. Anyways, 1 screw on either side left, so we're gonna remove those 2. So that screw, and then this screw. Make sure to hold the screen so it doesn't fall out. Okay, I think it's okay. There's actually some adhesive here holding it a little bit. There's an adhesive pad here, and 1 on this side, so we're gonna peel that off. And let's see if we can peel this up. Okay. It's a lot of steps to get to the keyboard. All right, let's see. Can we lift this up here? No? Oh, we should have actually opened it more than 90 degrees apparently. So what I'm gonna do is, I mean, I guess I could put the screws back in, but I'm gonna do that, and we can roll this down. And now we can take this out. Okay, so I didn't have to do more than 90 degrees. Okay, so this is the keyboard assembly. This is the screen assembly. So we're done with the screen assembly for now. Obviously, you can replace the screen. You'd have to pop the bezel out, but I'm not going to do that. If you're replacing the screen, usually you don't have to take the whole hinge and everything out. I think you can just pop the bezel, though this part down here might be a little bit caught underneath. So anyways, we'll set that aside. Oh my goodness, that's a lot of pieces here. Okay, so set that aside. And let's get to the keyboard here. So we have the keyboard. There's the power button on top here. It looks like there's screws hidden underneath, so we are gonna have to peel this all up, I think. Yeah. That's annoying. But it is what it is. Also, there's a lot of adhesive on this thing all over it, so why? The adhesive isn't necessary. We're gonna take these 2 screws out here. It looks like they made this so a lot of the pieces are replaceable. It's pretty repairable as long as you can get the parts and are willing to do all this work to get this whole thing apart. Right, so once you get those 2 screws, you can see we can lift this. There are little raised posts, so be careful when you lift it. You don't want to have the little post like go diagonal and then damage this board. So we're gonna lift up like that, and there we go, we got this. Let's see if I can peel this out without, okay, it peeled off without, was it like that? Hopefully it's okay. All right, we're gonna peel this slowly, carefully. I'm gonna put my finger here, so if it goes up quick like that again, it's not just gonna tear up. Okay, so this tab actually goes on top. Oh, that's nice. Okay, so normally they would peel this thing off and then they would tape over the top, and that'd be very, very annoying. But here they have more screws under, so yeah, good thing they didn't. I don't think I have to take this all the way out. Are there other hidden screws here? I don't know. I'm scared to just... Start separating this. I don't know here. I don't think there's any more hidden screws. There is one hidden under here. So now we're going to go ahead and undo the screws holding the keyboard metal plate in place. I think we need to switch to J0 or PHP0, whatever you want to call it, Pentalobe 0 or Philips 0. Sorry, not Pentalobe, Philips 0 or JAS, which is the Japanese industrial standard. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and remove all these screws. It's a lot of screws, so yeah, get ready for. Hope you're ready. 1, 2, 3. And again, it's good to try and keep it in rows. It will help keep track of what you removed. 4, 5, 6. Okay, let's go ahead and, oh, this is gonna be complicated, man. The screws are jumping all over the place. Let's get these 2 here. Actually, there's a third one all the way over here. Sorry, let me zoom out a little bit. I didn't realize I was going off camera. Okay, one over there. If you didn't see, I took one out of there as well. Okay, then we got another row here of 3 towards the center. 1, 2, and 3. All right, then we got these here. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Then we got these down here. 1, 2. There's some tape on top. Make sure to peel that back a little. It kept on tape. Okay. 2. We got these 2, or these 3. 1, 2, and 3. All right, we got this one over here. 1. Okay, 1 hidden under here. 2. Make sure you put that back. Honestly, you don't need this many screws, but yeah. Right, then we got these down here. 1, 2, 3. 4. Also, if you need to replace the touchpad, you can. There's 4 screws here, and then I think you can lift this out at an angle to remove it. Right, 5 and 6, and one more up here, 7. Okay, I don't know if they're all out, but let's see if we can lift this now. They got all this adhesive here for whatever reason to make it harder. So we're gonna carefully lift this, work our way. Is there a hidden screw somewhere here? Nope, there's one hidden screw here I missed. Don't forget that one. Okay, let's go ahead and continue lifting. Did we get them all? Okay, feels like it. Let's see if we can get the adhesive on this side to just lift off. There we go. So we got this. And the whole keyboard is out. Awesome. So it's not crazy difficult to get that out. If you want, you can actually unlatch this power button so you don't have it flopping all over the place. So we'll take that out. Alright, and the keyboard is just stuck to this thing. Because, sure, why not? And as you can see, these little holes don't even line up with the screw mounts. That's weird. Jeez, wait, I hope this cable's the same. Is it just folded weird? Okay, so one thing is this adhesive thing is obviously holding onto the keyboard, keeping it held hostage. So we're gonna have to slowly, carefully, you can see it's should I just put some isopropyl alcohol in there and see if it comes out? I'm gonna try dripping a few drops of isopropyl alcohol down there to make it easier. Obviously you can just peel this thing off from the other side if you really wanted to. This keyboard's toast anyways, so there's not really a point peeling it off nicely, but I'm gonna try. Okay, so I got some isopropyl alcohol down in there, and you can see it's letting me slowly peel it now. Is that? Might need to put more. Yeah, okay, so I'm gonna put a little more down there, and it's slowly peeling away. I'm gonna need more. Okay, let's put some more in there and continue peeling. Getting there. You gotta go slow, let the isopropyl alcohol do its thing. Okay, it's about to fly, so ready, and there we go. Okay, so here we go. We got the keyboard out completely. Make sure you don't flip that all weird. Okay, so here's the keyboard. You could technically reuse the backlight and everything, but why would you do that if it came with a new one? Take note of how it's folded. You can see this. They have a little line here, and it's folded. It's not really in line. Oh, it's this DELL 15, and then they folded it up here. There's not really a line. They just folded it up to plug it in, I guess. So I think the main one is that DELL 15, and we do have to tape this down. Okay, anyways, since we have access to this, I'm going to take a toothbrush and just scrub in between every single piece, so that way there's no residue or stuff falling out and going back into the new keyboard. I'm going to kind of sweep up this area a little bit. You can see all this crumbs and whatever, bug poops or whatever it is. Okay. So bad. There's so much stuff there. Okay. Alright. So let me clean that up and I'll be back. I think I heard someone call my name, so give me a second. I'll be back. See you guys in a bit. Alright, I'm back. Let's go ahead and get this thing installed. So first things first, we're going to drop this into place. So just get it all lined up and drop it in. Alright. Oh, this thing has a bend in it. Oh no. It's brand new and it's already like damaged. What is this? So maybe during shipping they dropped it or something too hard. Although these tabs aren't even used, so it's not really an issue. But yeah, alright. So we'll drop this in here. Okay. Make sure it looks okay on the other side, that everything is lined up, that you have the right keyboard. They do have different model keyboards, so yeah. Maybe while I'm at it, I should clean the actual keyboard because it does look kind of gross here, but I don't want to get this all messed up. I'm gonna get a paper towel and we're gonna use some distilled water. Okay. Right, and we're just gonna kind of wipe this a little bit to make it look clean and new. Alright, I don't want to use isopropyl alcohol because they have a thing written here. I don't know what that is. I don't want to wipe it off on accident. So we're just going to use water. Alright, make sure that the thing isn't going to drip. You don't want it to drip into the touchpad and break that as well, because then you're going to have another thing to repair or replace. Alright, so look at that. Ew. Alright, make sure to clean all this off. Oh, I think this is coming off anyways. Uh-oh. I didn't mean to wipe that off, but it's gone now. I might as well wipe the whole thing. I don't know. I'll just leave it. Alright. And hopefully they'll remember what it means. Alright. Got most of that off. Let me actually get another paper towel and wipe it a little bit more. Okay, a small piece. Get a little more distilled water on here. Clean that up some more. Okay. There we go. Clean all this gunk off my desk. Alright, good enough. It's not completely brand new looking, but it's a lot cleaner. Okay, flip this back over. Let's get the keyboard back in. Be careful with the touchpad cable. Perfect. Alright, so what we're going to do now, the old keyboard, they put the backlight first. So let's grab the backlight, and this one goes like that. I don't know why, but they make that upside down. And then this just lines up all the holes with these holes. Okay, so let's peel this off. There's the adhesive layer, protective layer. How do I get under there? Is there? Okay, in the center it splits, so we can take that out. Okay, toss that stuff aside. All right, again, make sure that you're putting this label upside down for some reason. I don't know why it's like that, but that's how it is. We're gonna line up the little circle. So I'm gonna line up one of the circles on this side over here. Okay, and then I'm gonna line up one of the circles on the other far side. That's the best way to make sure it's all lined up. Okay, and then stick it down just like that. Okay, so there we go. Keyboard backlight is installed. Then we got to make sure this is on right. I don't know how they did this one or how they decided where to fold this, but it is held down with adhesive. So we're gonna carefully peel this up and see if we can take a look underneath. Okay, this is probably gonna be difficult and probably will damage the original keyboard more. It's already broken, so whatever, but let's peel this up and see what line did they choose here. So you can see how it's going over that way. Man, this thing is hard to peel off. Maybe isopropyl alcohol would help here, but okay. So they did some weird stuff here. So the cable is like this, comes out that way. Then they folded it on this, what's that, G17. So they folded this line. There's F15, G15, F15, G17. So for some reason they peeled this up and then they folded this down this way. Okay, so on that G17 line, and then it looks like they folded then this line, right? Wait, but they folded it opposite way. So they folded this backwards this way instead of on itself. So the dotted lines will show under the crease. I think that's just how they do it, so that the line is at the outside of the crease. Okay. So now we have that same thing like the other one, just like this. Okay, and I don't know how they decide where to stick it down, but I guess you just pull it straight out as much as possible. And then rotate it that way so it's doing the same thing. Pinch it, hold it. There we go, just like this. Alright, so like that, and then that's done, and then this will wrap up here like that on top, and then this will fold backwards over it, right? Interesting. Okay, so this cable will fold that way. Yeah. Okay, so next thing we do, let's see, this will end up on top. What did we fold it on? That one's supposed to be on the Dolly 15. They folded it slightly below it. I don't know. But, okay. So I'm going to peel this adhesive first. Okay, and from here, I'm just going to pull it more tight. Okay, because the original, they pulled it pretty tight here. So I'm going to pull this up and against the keyboard and go down, stick it on. I hope I didn't pull it too tight, but there we go. Then we have the Dolly 15 corner, so we're going to fold that one there. Like that. And yeah, on the original one, they folded it slightly past the line, so I'm trying to mimic that. Just like this. Okay. And then this cable curves straight down and meets with that cable. Alright, now we got to hold this down out of the way and then put the metal plate on top. So that's going to be a little bit tricky. Get this metal plate back on top here. There we go. And get everything lined up. Okay, there are the raised metal bumps at the bottom here, okay, and here. So use those to line up that and then drop it down. Not too bad, not too shabby. Okay, now we got to get all those keyboard screws back in. There was, let me see, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 22, 23, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 30. So we'll get all 30 of those screws back in. Let's go ahead and do that. Okay. One there. Okay, and it will help to kind of do the corner ones first, but I think everything lines up automatically with those raised tabs, so I'm just gonna go across. 1, 2, 3. And 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna actually flip it over and double check the keyboard once we get the bottom row in. Okay, so we got those. Let's get the bottom row in. 1, 2. Oh, that screw's a little bit stripped. 3. Okay, hopefully everything's lined up good enough. 4. 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, hopefully there wasn't anything that was supposed to be on top. Looks like it's good. Was this supposed to be on top? I don't think so. I don't remember having that on top, so I think we should be good. Take a look at the keyboard. Everything looks good. Oh no, don't get junk in it already. Okay, so that looks good. Now we just got to get the rest of the screws in. Lots more. Let's go. 1, 2, and 3. 3 more. 1, 2. 3. We got 3 over here. 1, 2. Wait. Yeah, 2. And 3. And 1. Make sure to lift the capped on tape. 2. 3. 4. 5. And we got 2 more. 1 over here. This power button cable is kind of scaring me with how it's like creased like that. And the last one was hidden under here somewhere. Here. Alright. Got all the screws back in. We're done with that PH0 or JS0 screwdriver. Next, we gotta put the screen back, right? I hope I'm doing that in the right order. Okay. So we got the screen here. And let's see if we can drop it in the same way. So we'll put the screen down like that. Okay, we're gonna get this in underneath and just slide it in like that. Okay, make sure the adhesive pieces end up back on top. So pull those out of the way. Okay, and do that. wiggle it, get that lined up. There's the raised pegs. Make sure you get those in right, and there we go. Okay, now I'm going to put that, and I'm going to use my thumbs to hold the hinges in place and close it. Just like that. And stick this back on top. Doesn't really stick well, but okay, stick that back on top. All right, and then we had the 2 silver screws. We're going to get those back down here. That one. And the other one over here. This one. Okay, let's rotate this around and get the power button back in. Zoom in there. Here's the power button. Make sure the latch is up. Get this in. Also, hopefully you were keeping yourself grounded while doing this and you didn't have a bunch of static built up destroying everything. Okay, we got this all lined up. We'll get these screws in. This one. I loosely fit it. I'm going to get the second one in. Okay. There we go. Tighten that down and then tighten that down. Good. You can go ahead and kind of stick the adhesive back down on here. All right. What's next? Are we going to put the whole thingamablob back on now? Let's zoom out here. Okay. Right, I think now we can go ahead and put the motherboard part back on. So we got this. Flips over this way. Make sure all the cables end up back on top and that you're not missing any. We do have the keyboard backlight cable to take count of, so we're gonna fold that back. And the keyboard cable as well. So fold that back. Okay, so make sure those cables end up back on top like that. Get that one back out as well. Okay, slowly lower it. Make sure everything looks lined up. See if you can click it all back in. Okay, make sure all the cables are lined up, because once you do this, you're gonna have to pop it back out if you missed anything. Hopefully I didn't miss anything, but there we go. Oh, the SSD could have stayed in here, I think. Maybe. I don't know. Actually, I don't know. I think the screw... Is it part of the plastic piece? Yeah. So technically the SSD could have stayed in here. Alright, let's get the wireless antennas back in first. So I'm going to keep the white one on the left. So it's like how it was originally. This goes over here. This black wire will go in first. Okay. Then this wire goes down and over to here. Sorry, I know it's like zoomed out far, but yeah, okay. We're just gonna follow this. Pull those wires back under there and over. Okay, next we gotta do the white one first. And then, come on, get under there. There we go, and then the black one. Okay, and then this time the black one, and then the white one. Right, same thing, black one, and then the white one. And this time the white one, and then the black one. There we go. Oops, sorry. There we go. Then we'll get the wireless card back in there. Going at an angle. Alright, hold that down. We'll get the black cable on first. Line it up. It's very important you line this up right before you put pressure on it. Actually, it's going to be easier probably to plug it in while it's out. So I'm going to line this up. You can know because it latches on, and then click that down. Okay, white one, same thing. Okay, and there we go. So I just kind of slide it around until it kind of falls in place. And yeah, that's the easiest way. Then we'll get this in and push that back down. Make sure to get this piece back over the cables. And then this little hook hooks underneath the wireless card. So you slide that piece over and it makes contact to complete the little circle there where the screw goes. All right, hold that down. Tighten that in place. Just like that. Ooh. There we go. Wireless card is back in. Now we got this cable here. This is probably for the camera and maybe this microphones. And this one just goes over here, sticks down, follows this curve, and then goes here and plugs in. And when you plug this in, you want to make sure that you're pushing on the white connector plastic piece, not the cables themselves. So I use my fingernail at the little corner here, or the edge, and push that in. All right, so there we go. Stick that all down, perfect. LCD LVDS connector, make sure to peel the Kapton tape back. Pull this back over. Get this back into this little groove down here. Make sure not to smash it onto those sharp, like little raised points there. Right, line that up. Come on, line up. This is kind of tricky to line up. Okay, and then click it down and just smush that back into place. Get that cable and then just stick that all down. Okay, keyboard connector, make sure that latches up, curls around and goes like that. Did they? No, they didn't use that tape. Okay. But they did tape this down, so we could take this tape and transfer it over. Right? Maybe. Oh, they put like a weird tear on, like a line in it, so it's difficult to get this tape off. I'm gonna have to go from the front here, and then there we go. Okay, I don't know if I can reuse this tape. It doesn't feel that sticky anymore. But okay, they did like fold this piece here, and they tried to not use the adhesive thing, so let's get that keyboard connector in. The blue tab on this keyboard is super thin. Normally it's thick, but I don't know, this replacement one, hopefully it's gonna work. Oops, sorry, that's going out of view. And then latch that down, and then you can try and like pull on it a little to make sure it's good. We're gonna roll this and then kind of just smush it down a little bit. Okay, and then they had this little tape tab here. We can kind of stick that back down. I don't think it's going to do anything at this point. The adhesive isn't that strong. Okay, so there's that. Oop, the touchpad cable's getting trapped underneath. Get that back in. Okay, flip that latch down. Get the keyboard backlight connector in. Flip that latch down. Right, we left the touchpad one back in there. Power cable one. Get that in. Latch that down. All right, let's start putting back the bunch more screws. So we'll zoom out here. Okay, we got the first one in this corner up here. Then we got the two right here, this one, and the one below it, this one. And we got the other pair, right? This one here, and this one here. Then we got the other pair somewhat, one in the corner here, and the one down here. again, hopefully this video helped you guys out. If it did, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share my channel with others so that they can learn how to upgrade and repair their devices as well. There's another screw here. If you can't help out, if you can't help out with like contribution to the channel, it would help a lot. Again, if you could watch a few of my other videos and then like and comment. I think I just repeated myself, but yeah, that does help a lot. Helps my channel grow, helps other people find it, and yeah. All right, we're continuing getting all these screws in. There's one down here. One over here. Getting there. One over here. One over here. This design actually for upgrading SSD and RAM and hard drive, it's really nice, really easy to replace the battery. And then they also made it very sturdy. So this design is actually really good. Yeah, other than whatever caused it to kill the keyboard. At least the keyboard's not held in with melted plastic tabs like other laptop models, or metal rivets like Apple likes to do. It's actually screws, so you can replace it. It's just time consuming getting to the pieces and everything. And if you're not careful, you can also damage other things. But yeah, for the most part, it's repairable, replaceable. All right, get the last few screws in the bottom part. Two more. All right, and this one. Don't forget the LCD LVDS connector. I don't know if this is supposed to go this way. I think it goes this way. Doesn't really matter, but yeah. All right, then we'll get this piece back in. Okay, and then get that screw in. Once you get everything lined up, and tighten that down. Okay, is there like a place where that thing hooks in? Oh, it just goes in there. All right, let's go ahead now and get this little back piece back on. Okay, lift it up, slide this into place, latch it all. You can actually hear it click. All right, 4 screws here. This one. This one. Go. Now we need the bottom cover. Well, no, we don't need the bottom cover. We need the battery and the hard drive. Let's put the hard drive first. So hard drive down here, same as all the other cables. Get that lined up. Okay, and latch it down. Then we'll get this, line that up. And then we'll get the rest of these. And the last hard drive screw. Perfect. Then battery. Slide the bottom in. Okay. Go down like that. Line this cable up. I'm gonna have to flip it upside down for easier pulling ergonomics or whatever. Okay. Line that up. Okay, and then I'm gonna pull here with my thumbs and pull here with this. Huh, looks like it went in crooked. I wanna make sure it goes in straight. I can't see with the camera over there, so let me line it up first and then I'll put it back into camera view better. Yeah, it's being weird. Oops, sorry. Let me see, maybe it'll be easier to line it up this way and then switch. Is it going in right? Okay, I think that I can actually do it this way, so pinch. There we go. Okay, make sure that's all good. Make sure to get the battery screws back in. 3 screws. One on this side. Hopefully the bulging, inflating battery isn't what damaged the keyboard. I feel it's not that, because it would be like somewhat, sometimes he said before you can kind of wiggle around and it would work. So yeah, alright, anyways, last screw, then bottom cover, and one final screw, and we're good to go. Hopefully this video helped you guys out. Again, if it did, like, comment, subscribe, share my channel with others so that they can learn how to upgrade and repair their device as well. Alright, this goes in at an angle like that. Swing it down and click in around here. Alright, again, like, comment, subscribe, share my channel with others so that they can learn how to upgrade and repair their device as well. And if it helped you save a bunch of money, please consider contributing a little to the channel. Every little bit helps and allows me to continue making these videos for a living. If you can't help out that way, it would help a lot if you could watch a few of my other videos and then like and comment on those as well, because that's what the algorithm likes to see. Other than that, that's pretty much it. Let's get the last screw in. Also, if you noticed, I was holding the middle up. That helps like flex it in a little to make the clips easier to put. Alright, so let's go ahead and tighten this down. Also, you can help out by if you are planning on sending like those super things, YouTube actually takes a huge percent of that. I think like, I don't remember, but it's huge. It's like more than, I think probably like 30% or more. So yeah, if you can, it's best to send contributions the other methods, but if that's the easiest for you or that's all you got, that's the only way you can do it, then yeah, I appreciate those a lot. So there we go, we got this all reassembled. Let's flip this over, make sure it turns on and works okay. Alright, powered on, the power light is on. Moment of truth, let's get some screen. There we go. And yeah, I'm gonna have to clone their hard drive over to, or their SSD over to a new one, because their SSD is only 120 gigs or 128 gigs and it's already full. You can see it spinning. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Let's drop this. Bye.